Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I decided to start a new thing where I think I'm gonna make a monthly video where I'm gonna talk about the latest stuff I watch, not just reviews of the latest movies that are coming out, but also movies that have already come out and I've been watching them for the first time or re-watching them. And I figured I saw other people's channels on YouTube doing it, and I figured that would be a very good way for me to get out and talk about other movies too, because there are other movies that I've watched, and I really feel like I should talk about all these movies. And I figured that maybe at the end of the year I could make a list of the movies that I watched for the first time and which or were the best for me. But that's at the end of 2024. We're not going to talk about that right now. But let's begin with but before we actually begin, before I actually start this, I just want to say that I'm not really didn't get to watch that much this month. I think I would say, because I'm a high school kid, so I had midterms and everything, so I had to study. So I didn't really get a chance. But whatever I did watch was really exciting, and I really enjoyed it. First off, The Bad Guys. The Bad Guys is that animated movie that I believe came out in 2021, I think. But it basically follows this based on a book about these bad guys are like these animals, like snake, shark, this tarantula, this I forgot, gecko, yeah, gecko, I think, something like that. Mr. Wolf, played by Sam Rockwell, and they're basically these robbers, and they kind of get stuck after trying to rob a golden trophy, and then they end up doing things to try to get out of it. And basically it's like a kids movie, and how by the end they turn into these good guys, which it's not really that much of a spoiler, by the way. Oh, there might be a little bit spoilers, by the way, in this video, but not that many. But anyways, The Bad Guys is probably without a doubt a video movie that I've rewatched recently, and I enjoyed it. Like I really genuinely really enjoyed it. I enjoy the animation style is good. The story is also pretty solid. It gives a chance for us to understand these characters and why they think they're evil when they don't actually have to be. And it has pretty good solid twist, and for kids it's like really good. But I really enjoyed it, that I decided to rewatch it, and I had a great time again watching this for a second time. And especially the animation style, it just looks beautiful. I don't know how how the book is, but it looks beautiful, where it kind of looks like it's drawn, but at the same time it's 3D, and it gives this a unique flavor. I heard they're making a second one, and I really want to say Sam Rockwell was perfect as the wolf, the main character, because his voice is that dryness and this coolness to it that kind of makes him perfect for the role. But yeah, I had a great time, and it was just fun. Next up, The Raid 2. This is my favorite movie I have watched this month, and probably one of the best I've ever seen. My favorite action movie of all time is John Wick. John Wick changed everything for me, and made me see action movies in a different way. But this is the closest. I would say on any other day, I would say The Raid 2 surpasses the John Wick on so many levels. And I'd seen The Raid a few months back, and I'd heard that The Raid 2 is better, but I didn't get a chance, and I wasn't really in the mood. And this time it was on Prime, and I was like, you know what? I want to watch it. I want to see if it's that good or not. And I devoured it. I loved every scene of this movie. I think it's brilliant, it's perfect, and it's incredible because it takes what The Raid did about a simple concept about these police people doing a raid and being stuck there, and it elevates into this gangster epic thing that Rama, played by Iko Uwais, is just stuck in, because Rama is basically just this guy who's now stuck and is trying to run away from these gangsters because of what he did in the first movie. But now he is a secret agent in these gangsters, and everything's happening, and all these two different mobs are trying to kill each other. And it's like an epic thing that's tearing the city apart, and he's kind of stuck in it. And it's so good because the camera, the cinematography, the fight scenes have gotten better. They've gotten more creative, more incredible and engaging. Like, there's this beautiful 7-minute sequence at the end which enthralls you and keeps you at the edge of the seat, and I didn't look away. In fact, I had a class to go to, and I completely forgot about that because I was so engrossed in this movie. And it was just crazy. I don't think I've watched a movie this good in a long time, and everything is better, and it's incredible because it's so unique. It has a brilliant story, brilliant action sequence. Everything's incredible. and I don't think I've seen a movie. Sure, I would say that. I would say some things have to improve. Like Rama, they gave him a little bit more motivation on why he is who he is, but they could have done a lot more better job than that. But it still has its incredible moments. Next up, Aliens. Aliens is the sequel to Alien, which I watched like 2 months ago for the first time, and I've been thinking about doing a video on the Alien franchise, but I feel like I need to watch Alien 3 before I do like the first part of it. But so I decided to watch Aliens, and I loved Aliens more than the first movie. The first movie is clearly an incredible movie, but you can feel the 70s sense where Ridley Scott, as this creative genius, he comes up with these ideas, and it's more slow burn, it's more thought out, more drawn out, and more of this horror thing. James Cameron's Aliens is much more the 80s version of Aliens, with guns, action sequences, and everything. But what makes it beautiful is, to me, the tension in Aliens is much more better than the one it was in Alien. In Alien, the characters are there, and you kind of like them, but I feel I was more attached to the characters that they presented in Aliens, and it was brilliant. The way they talk about Ripley, and the way she meets New, and she kind of becomes like this mother to her, and it's just beautiful, and it's engaging, and there's this, the sequences are incredible, the tension in this movie, and that they just bump it up, like where there was one alien, now there are multiple aliens, and now it's just horrible. And I loved every moment of this movie, and I don't think we can get better, and I heard it goes down after this, so we shall see. But anyways, next up, Animal. And Animal is a Hindi movie that caused a lot of controversy for all of you who are not Hindi, and that's because it's very hyper violent. It has, his main character is a lot more misogynistic, and I mean not that misogynistic, but he's very much like a villain essentially, who's the protagonist of the story. But the thing is that a lot of people didn't like it because it's so different, and it's a huge hit at the box office in India. But so I decided to watch it, and watching it, I liked it. I would say that it's a raw long movie. It's like 3 hours 20 minutes, but I liked it because it did a great job at presenting this character who's horrible and bad, but they don't like justify him. They don't say that he's right or he's wrong. There is just the way he is. The action sequences are incredible. The performances of Ranbir Kapoor, who's the main character, is brilliant. He brilliantly plays this guy that you kind of hate, but at the same time you're engaging enough to watch and you can't let go. And I would say it still needs to be better. The story's a little bit more cliched, and it could have had been better. And another great aspect is that it's 3 hours and 20 minutes, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours and 20 minutes. It feels pretty normal, but not like to the point where I want to quit or split my head apart. But it's still enjoyable, and I enjoyed the movie, but I felt like it could have been better. I also ended up watching Us for the first time, and I've seen other Jordan Peele movies. I love Nope. I'd seen Get Out, the first half of Get Out at least, and I'll watch probably the second half. But the thing is that I ended up finding it, and I was like, you know what, let me try to watch Us. And I thought it was a great movie. I genuinely thought there are flaws in it. The writing is good, but it still has its flaws. But what it does with its original concept is engaging more than enough that it's creepy. It's a whole lot violent, and it just made me just care and just be interested. And it's, as twist wise, it's kind of see that Jordan Peele kind of tries to do the twist thing all over again, and that's really where it goes wrong, because it's so focused on trying to be like a twist thing rather than to be like something completely different. But yeah, it was a great watch, and it was pretty good. I also ended up watching Percy Jackson. Now, at the time of this recording, it's not finished, but I think it's okay. Like, I'm not the biggest Percy Jackson fan. I read the first 3 books. I enjoy it. But the thing is, the problem with the series is that it lacks suspense. Like, it has good moments, it has great casting, but the problem is that the suspense that the show needs for it to work is just not there. It's like, oh, they completely forget what they're trying to do, and that instead of being an action adventure, there are moments where, like, the stuff from the book where they're underwhelmed and Percy has no idea, he automatically knows everything, and it just makes it boring. It just makes it look dry, and it's just that, oh, if they know everything, why should we care? And by the way, it just looks horrible. Like, it just looks bad. The CGI, so many CGI sets that it's like, dear God, just no, just go outside, look at the sun, and shoot under the sun for once. Like, and may I also say this: Grover is just a background character in this. For some reason, they're so fixated on making Annabeth and Percy just these lovers from the start, and I know they do become in the books later on in the other series, but this is their first one. This is not where their love stories. They're just like becomes friends, and over time like they become boyfriend girlfriend. I couldn't find the words for some reason, but it's like Grover is his best friend, and yet he's like afterthought. Like, oh, Grover's here, we should make him talk something. And they're like, oh, we're best friends, but you're not. Like, you never see them talk like that much, like best friends. And it's constantly just like shipping these two people together. And well, yeah. And otherwise, it's all right. I enjoyed it. My sister who read the first book also enjoyed it, and she was really happy with it. And yeah. Next up, now we move on to the TV shows, and we go to Batman, the animated series. Now, I'm not gonna go a full review because I want to do a full review once I finish the series, but I'm like halfway through season 1, and I'm blown away. I don't think I've seen something like this in a long time, and I'm genuinely shocked that how come I hadn't seen this movie. Sorry, not movie, but this show ever. And it's on Prime, so I decided to watch it, and I honestly have to say I enjoyed every moment of this. I love this, and I think Kevin Conroy is the perfect Batman now. Christian Bale's still my favorite Batman, but he's the perfect Batman. This is the perfect adaptation, and I just can't say anything else. Like, I mean, the first 2-3 episodes were okay for me, but when they got to the Scarecrow episode, it just kept elevating. Heart of Ice, all these different episodes, the Harvey Dent episodes, and every one of these episodes just became superior in one way or the other. And just the animation style is incredible, the design's incredible, but the performances, Kevin Conroy's voice is so perfect. Like, I didn't understand why people were rating it so much, but now I see it, and there's no doubt about mine, and he's incredible. And I just felt like into a deep dark hole, and now I'm just blown away. Like, their incredible writing, where despite being a kids show, they have mature themes, rounded characters that grow and learn, and incredible details about Batman's own fears, and it's just blown away. And I know everybody says it, but I had to. Next up, Home Improvement. The majority of the time I was watching Home Improvement, and I have to say, Home Improvement is a very, very enjoyable show. I really love this show, and that's because it's just fun. Tim Allen plays, well, Tim Taylor, the Tool Man, who lives with Jill, his wife, and he has 3 sons. And it's kind of like talking about men and what men should be like. It's not like Angel Tate or something like that, or like stuff like that about male, but it's like saying how men make these mistakes and these emotions, and how you can deal with them. But it also doesn't do that thing where, oh, it's always the men's fault, it's also her fault. And really, what makes it so good is the humor. Like, the way Tim Allen plays Tim Taylor is this classic, that stupid male guy, but he's witty, he's very sharp, and the jokes are sharp. The kids and everybody performs their act so good that all his 3 kids, Randy, Brad, and Mark, all of them seem like a family. I watched like 4 or 5 seasons. I think I'm on the 7th season right now, and I don't know, I think I might make a short video on the series as a whole, but I genuinely think it's such a good watch. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite sitcoms, but I would say like it's worth watching at once. And yeah, that's what I watched in January, and I have a bunch of other movies I've watched one by accounts of February, I would say. And so we'll see. So if you stayed, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.